Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network. We got a little bit of green here on the daily, the hourly, fighting back and forth. There's a battle going on among us here, and it doesn't have to do with Israel, just so you know. It's all here on the charts, guys. Looking at the market opening this morning, we are seeing a little bit of green here right above my head. It's got some green going on there, and the VIX is slowing down a little bit. So we're going to look at this. Is this a trap? That's what the thumbnail says. We do have some price action fighting right now in that zone. You guys know that green box that we've been talking about for a while? Guess where we are? Guess where all this price action is? Right there. It's all sitting right there underneath that 887 there, the platinum pocket, guys. We're going to go through all this. We're going to break it down, talk about a couple of headlines, and talk about what did Trump say? Trump said something. You guys may have heard about it.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
We're going to find out what that's all about, guys, and a whole lot more right here today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Appreciate you guys all being here. We got Frank the Tank, Alexandra G, Dylan VA. Who else? We got Donato Cabrera in here with us right now. I see some Ninja Glock in BC Port Corp. What is this thumbnail? He said. Yeah, it's thumbnail, bro. It's thumbnail. Let's go ahead and bring up my co-host today, the man, the myth, the legend. It's the OC guy. What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Great morning today. I mean, I wake up with a lot of energy and great to see Bitcoin. It's now back at where it was before. It's still red on my charts though, but it's just back at it. I mean, we knew this was coming. We mentioned usually the best days of buying is right after the worst days, right? And well, the worst day was uncertainty. We still have a little bit of uncertainty out there, but things are pushing into just the conflict being resolved until or unless we have one more surprise tweet. But you mentioned that Trump did something, right?
He did. He did.
See.
It's pretty crazy. What's going on? Evidently, we're at a ceasefire now. Again, another round of ceasefire. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. There was an initial ceasefire, and then what did Israel do? They launched planes and headed to Iran. So Trump said, "You better turn it right back around." And when he picked up the phone and called Netanyahu, that pretty much
it was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
That's right. So, so there you go. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get everything in here. Let's go ahead and bring up our chat cam and let's see how everybody's doing in here this morning, guys. Piper needs a fresh shave, username said. I do. I haven't had no time to do anything, man. Little hearts right there. Do I get hearts? Yeah, there we go. Cool. I got to say, I've been busy. Like yesterday, I was supposed to do the VIP session. That didn't happen because my wife said, I want those boxes out of the closet now. And said she was going to leave me, which is, if you guys listen to the audio in the Discord, that's not what she said, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. We know. Usually I want to be like OC, wake up, roll out of bed, camera ready. I've seen him before he goes and does his hair, username. He pops in and he's in here, and then he goes and gets his coffee. He walks in looking like Clark Kent and comes back looking like Superman. It's really true. Those voice notes were jokes. They were pretty funny. I can't take full credit for it. Wife helped out. She played along with it. It was pretty good. Who else we got in here? Piper needs a fresh shave. Yes, I do. BC Port Corp saying good morning to everybody. Appreciate you, BC. Always being here, man. Good morning crypto show. Fire. You guys need to check it out. Good morning crypto show every morning right here on the Piper Academy Network. Frank the Tank saying good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Frank the Tank is a absolute beast of saying good morning in the Discord. So I appreciate him being part of the alumni. And then Daniel Barnes there, my battle buddy, saying, y'all, I've got my coffee and charts ready for another amazing day. How's everyone else doing? I'm doing good, man. I hope you're doing well too. So, and then our mod queen, Alexandra G, in here rocking it up. So, all right. Let's talk about some news. I want to go into the news, and then I'm going to go and we're going to break down what's going on the chart, OC. So let's kick it over to the news, and we will be right back to you. Just hang tight, and we'll see you in a second. All right. Taking a look at the news here, guys, we're looking at our metrics from Into the Cryptoverse. Looking at our crypto market cap right now, we're sitting at $3.23 trillion. The trend median on that is at 3.967. We're currently only 18.25% undervalued on the crypto market cap. Thank you, Altcoins, for that. We appreciate you. Current risk levels currently at 53.6 on Bitcoin. That means it is a 2x DCA. And then looking at stables here in the dominance versus no stables in the dominance for Bitcoin. With stables, we're sitting at a 64.46%. Without stables, we're at 69.66%. Losing that 70%. But still holding strong, getting a small rally yesterday on that 5% move of Bitcoin into the alt market. Looking in the past 24 hours, 123,137 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at 458.24 million. Largest single liquidation was an ETH trade. Someone went long on it, I guarantee. Guarantee they went long or tried to short one of the other. I don't know. Let's see here. It's mostly shorts that got liquidated, so probably one of the shorts. But that was $12.14 million there in liquidations on a single trade. Looking at the crypto bubbles, where are we at on price this morning, guys? We're at 105, 186, up about 2.7 and flat on the hourly. Right now for Bitcoin, looking at Ethereum, it's just under 2,500 at 24.28. Up on the hourly, up on the daily. XRP is up about 7.3%. So yeah, that dominance slipping from that 70% on Bitcoin without stables, absolutely coming from the altcoins, getting big moves there. Solana's up 5.5%. Cardano's up 5.3%. Doge is up 4.8%. SWI is up 8.6%, back at $2.78. Chainlink is up 10.2%. Buck, you're crushing it with that pickup you did on Link, bro. Absolutely crushing it. Stellar Lumen's up 6.5%. Avalanche up 6.3%. And then rounding out the top 3 tokens of the top 20 is Toncoin, Shiba Inu, and HBAR. HBAR, I told you, was going to come back in and take number 20 from 21, and it did. Losing that spot is Litecoin, only up 2.7% on the daily. Let's go over and talk about X. There we go. X marks the spot there. Bitcoin Fear and Greed is sitting at 65. We're back in greed, folks. So greed taking over. Shout out to 2Dub in the chat. Let's go. I haven't seen you in here in a second, lady. How you doing? Good to see you in here with us this morning. Yeah, currently sitting at 65, back in greed. If you guys aren't tracking, we do have an economic event going on today. It actually has started. Yeah, now. So that is what's going on right now. We're going to take a look at this layout from Kabisi letter on what he's saying in just a second. Looking at the Dow Jones, let's give this a refresh. Let's freshen it up. Just a little sprinkle. There you go. Looking fresher than my shave. That's what it's doing. Looking at Dow Jones right now, up about 0.5%. S&P up about 0.6, and the NASDAQ up about 0.9%. Russell 2K a little over the 0.6% to the upside move there. And the VIX is down at 18, staying in red and keeping it cool. Markets all opening in the green this morning. Europe had a very green day last night. Asia had a very green day last night. And our bond is pumping back up again. Guys, this thing cannot seem to break down below 4.3, and that is where all of our loan rates are going to come from for autos, for houses, all that good stuff. So this thing, 4.27, 4.47, that's the range that this 10-year yield has been stuck in. Let's look at oil today. Oil taking a sharp drop down to $65 a barrel now, and not being able to stay up there despite all the stuff going on in the Middle East. Get the ceasefire, pulls back, another threat, pumps up, another ceasefire, drops back down, and we're seeing oil and gas staying down in the low sides today. Gold is sitting at $3,314, down about 2.37%. So that safe haven, they're fleeing back away from it and into the markets. I think we could actually see a new all-time high coming, well, at least for the stock markets, possibly also on Bitcoin. I really do. Silver is sitting in the red side, that about to about $35. Copper is up right now. Platinum and palladium both down to the downside. There was an article I saw here talking about all-time high. Let's see if I can grab that real fast. Yeah, yep, right there. Traders say it's time to get bulled up. JPMorgan. So that's the one that I thought was pretty interesting. We'll have to take a look at that if we have time today. We are going to be cutting at about 5 minutes before the top of the hour today because I've got to go to, we're going to cut over to Crypto Princess. She's got a show starting right at that time. But also I've got to go over and do I got to go over and do an orientation at the boat club today. That's why I got my shirt on. I'm looking all clean and dressed up for my orientation at the boat club. That's what I got to do today. Let's talk about the economic events here today, guys. Fed Chair Powell testimony going on today. It's the only real big event, but there are a lot of Fed speakers talking today. And then tomorrow, day 2 of that testimony is going to be taking place there. Going back over here, let's talk about this. Fed Chair Powell's testimony today. The Fed is well positioned to wait and see on rate cuts. Again, wait and see, get more data, right? Tariffs are likely to push up inflation and weigh on the economy. Again, we don't know what that looks like yet. Got to wait and see. There's no immediate signal of interest rate cuts provided. So he gave no indication that that's happening. Labor market conditions have remained solid. So there's no reason to have to cut rates because he's not seeing big weakness in the labor market. And inflation has eased but remains somewhat elevated, meaning you don't want to cut against elevated inflation, right? So he's not ready to cut rates. Despite that, though, there you go. It's Jay Powell, to those wanting July rate cuts, that's what they think about it. Trump was talking earlier about it, and he said that it needs to be done because Europe's done like 10 of them and so on and so forth. And a lot of people on X right now, crypto Twitter, has been absolutely just touting that we're going to see rate cuts in July. Guys, I've said it over and over and over again. I don't think we see rate cuts this year until September, and I think we only get one this year total. So it is what it is, right? Also in the news today, so we had this here. We had the planes that launched. They were sitting over on top of Iran, and Trump was like, Netanyahu, Israel, get those planes out of there. Donald J. Trump evidently had some sway on. He said Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and go home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Hi, nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And so ceasefire is a go again. Markets are on the rise. We're getting back to where it should be. I'm optimistic on these developments, and it feels good. Trump was asked about this, and I want to see if this plays. And no, this video is not AI. This is him this morning, and I actually got my new soundbite for this, but let's see if this plays for you guys.
You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
There you go. So that's what he had to say about Israel and Iran. I made up my new soundbite. I love it.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
So perfect. There we go. So that's what we had there going on with that. That's why we have all of this stuff going on back and forth. The volatility. We talked about the volatility this week, guys, and with Jerome Powell speaking also, it's just really a mixed market of bullishness from ceasefire and then bearishness off of Jerome Powell. So Trump says he's not happy as Israel and Iran both claim ceasefire violations. So U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday said that a ceasefire was in effect soon after Iranian state-linked media announced Tehran had fired its last round of missiles at Israel. The ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it, Trump said in a post on Truth Social around 1 a.m. The ceasefire announcement came after Iran carried out retaliatory missile strikes at U.S. Dirty Deeds Air Base in Qatar. Within hours of the declaration, Israel accused Iran of violating the ceasefire with further missile strikes, which Tehran denied. Trump says he's not happy with both Tehran and Israel, urging the Jewish state not to go ahead with a retaliatory missile strike against Iran. So this is ongoing back and forth, guys. Just play the markets. That's what we're going to do, and that's how we run all that. Crypto rules and the road of framework. We'll talk about that in a little while. OC, let's go ahead and let's talk about what we're seeing on Bitcoin right now. Let's go ahead and get your chart up there, and we'll have you do that and see what you got. Well, Walks the helicopter says nothing else. There you go. There you go. Savage. I bet Powell gets wild at parties. He probably like, hey, whoa, BC, what are you talking about, man? You guys are having a whole nother conversation over here. I don't even know what's going on there. All right, OC, what do you got, man? Let's bring up your chart and let's see what you got on Bitcoin today. And we'll talk about some higher time frames on my end. What you got for us?
Absolutely. So let's get started for Bitcoin. We are right above the dynamic reactor already. As you can see, we are again back at where we were supposed to be on Thursdays. We're in Thursday's prices in here. So basically, Thursday, Friday, as we were dumping. But other than that, we recuperate everything in a V-shaped recuperation here and a V-shaped recovery. This is good, but we're trapped between, and let me just hide everything so we can see a little bit better. We're trapped between the dynamic reactor and the quantum reactor. Something that I don't like is that our dynamic reactor is very thin, and we did not have a clean breakout. Yes, we have a big body candle going through here, but it was just the tip, right? So not really fully going through, or not really like the main body with both sides was not breaking through, so that really worries me a little bit. It seems like we're forming like a little bit of a bull flag, so we still need to wait for a bit. So far on our RSI prime, we are at the top, creating a couple of smaller candles. This we still also need to wait, because when we got this kind of a smaller candles, look at that, we tend to reverse. So again, we are just holding on to what's going to happen. Nonetheless, whatever happens here, even if we have another retracement, which is not all the way down to 100K, I could be expecting something around 101 K, something along this blue trend line that I have going on in here, right? And that is because remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, or at least we're bouncing off the trend line, right? And then we're coming back down to create a higher low. So we still need to wait because at the moment, despite we have a V-shaped recovery, and Alex How Crypto was talking about this yesterday, how could he said, how cool would that be? Cool with quotations, let's say, that they pumped the price to previous price areas, right? And then it got everybody bullish, right? Because we're going to the moon, and then they dump the price one more time, right? So we still need to consider that possibility, because that is a well-known play. In fact, if we start looking at the charts the other way around, we can see maybe a shoulder, a head, and then we should be also looking to, or finding another possible shoulder, which means that we can still go a slightly lower here. This inverted head and shoulders is not there yet. Let me get rid of the old head and shoulders, but there is a possibility for it to be forming. But so far, everything doing great. This is not the time, I would say, to buy or to jump back in. We are back inside our triangle, which is fabulous. Usually that means that we're gonna be hitting the other top, or the other sides of the pattern, which is fine. But we have quantum reactor coming in like this. So most likely we're going to be seeing a little bit of a ranging scenario, just like we saw in here, as the quantum reactor was coming up straight and the dynamic reactor was coming on down. We created a little gap, that created a gapping or a ranging motion of the price. I think the same thing we could be seeing here. So prepare for some volatility. That's what I got so far on Bitcoin 4 hours. Standing by, not looking bad, not looking fabulous, but it is doing what it needs to do.
Yep, awesome, man. I'm going to talk about some liquidation levels here in a second. Shout out to Benny Blanco from the Bronx. I appreciate seeing you here. I think you got your coffee. I got my coffee too. Drinking it out of the OG mug today. So, all right, well, we're ready to go. We got caffeine. Let's go and take a look at what we're seeing on the liquidation charts here, and then we'll talk about these higher time frames and why I have it's a trap.
You're muted here, I believe.
No, don't be muted here. I got a sound effect for that one too. Watch. Here you go. There
Nice.
you go. All right. So what I'm seeing here on the chart, guys, for liquidations, we did go down and clean out that gap around 100,000, 99,000. We have a huge liquidation heat map zone sitting right above us, starting at about 110. I think that if we do get a breakout here, And I'd like you to do that measured move, OC, and see if we can tap 110 on that measured move coming off of that. That would be what I'm thinking we may see, and that's where we get our rejection liquidity sweep right here above this zone at about $111,000. And then from there, that's where the trap comes in. The trap is being set right now, getting everyone bullish, and then I think we're going to have that turnaround. But of course, it all depends on what happens with what's going on over there with Israel right now. Taking a look at the higher time frames. By the way, shout out to Alex O Crypto and the Alex O gang, the OGs coming into the house, busted in through the door. Appreciate seeing you guys all here. Much love to the OGs. I just told them I was drinking my coffee out of the OG mug. If you guys drink from this, it summons Alex O and the gang. So just so you guys know. Let's go take a look at what we're seeing on the Bitcoin chart here, guys, and talk about that. So we're in this zone, this range here. This is the 887. I put this box on here, man, like a week and a half ago now. And it's really just this zone of the peak. We have a point of control coming in off the fixed range volume profile. There's one peak sitting right on the 887 at 105,410, and then it starts to just fall off right there beneath that level at about 104.6. 104,679 to be exact. So what I'm watching is for us to hold the zone. If we can hold this point of control and the dynamic reactor from Chart Prime, then I do think that we could be heading up. But keep in mind, and I told you guys this before, we do have a red 4-hour quantum reactor right now. It doesn't always turn red just because you're below it. When it's green, when it's gray like this, it means that it's not confirmed bearishness, okay? And so if you go down here and we look at previous zones when we've gone into the red, we had a double bottom here. It went red all the way back here, even though it went above it, still came back beneath it, was resistant several times. Go back here and take a look at what happened on this 4-hour. It turned red here. And yeah, we had spikes up, but we could not break above that thing for several days, right? Again, here we had a break up above it, but it stayed and went lower. So right now, we do have to keep in mind that we could come up and break these levels, do a liquidity sweep. This thing would still play out, and then we could go lower. And that's why I'm saying to be concerned that there could be a trap. Be aware. Don't be scared. Be prepared. That's the goal here. Looking at this on the daily right now, we did get a nice front run bounce on that confluence there of the quantum reactor and the dynamic reactor overlapping there. Okay. We are at the 50-day simple moving average. We are coming up out of that 30% zone on the RSI primed. We are starting to get lighter candle colors here on the histogram. So there is a reason to say, hey, look, money flow's coming up. All this confluence is taking place with it. We did get a zone bounce of support. I think we could be going higher. Absolutely. However, we have to keep in mind, as we discussed yesterday, that we do have a bearish divergence that is printing here on the weekly, has printed, I should say, not printing, has printed, and we are way high on the RSI. So don't be surprised to see us come up, do a liquidity sweep above that 110 range, and then do our pullback, this red playing out for a little more downside for us on Bitcoin. OC, on that breakout of that flag, what zone does that put us at? I'm just curious. Is it that 110 zone? What do you got, man?
All right, so let's take a look at this area. We have a couple of patterns here that I have drawn, and actually it does. Like if we measure, like for example, if we measure this triangle with this wedge, it's not quite a triangle, a wedge from the bottom to the top in here. We actually, on the breakout from the bottom, it takes us right at that 110 area. Not only that, we have another area that we've been looking into, which is the center of the previous channel that we had. So 110, it's a very important zone to be looking at as soon as we are breaking through, I would say, quantum reactor. So quantum reactor is the one to be looking at. And then the most important area will be 110, not only because, there we go, because we have the breakout target, we also have a we also have a daily resistance at that zone, and those are very strong resistances. Not only that, we also have a huge amount of resistance at that point, despite we have some bullish areas in here, they act as a resistance. So we not only need to break through quantum reactor, but also we would need to break through the next areas of resistance in here. And we have also smart money entries on those 4 short entries. So absolutely, I think you nailed that without not looking into it. But now that you mention it, there's a lot of confluence happening up there. So maybe we might have a rejection. Not only that, we also have a loud order block. So I would say that we might be able to go through, get around the 110 zone, reverse back to 106, and then maybe create that double top before we go back into 102. And then right here is where we need to do our analysis once again. I was about to say that bounce, but to be honest, this is just too far into the future. That is getting a little bit fuzzy, let's just say, because these order blocks will be changing as we start breaking through a couple of other zones. They will be diluting. But yeah, 110, big area to watch.
Yep, absolutely, man. Shout out to Wix Wi-Fi 89, Mark Dutch. Who else we got in here? I saw Trader G in here with us right now. Kyle Phils, appreciate you being here, bro. He said, yo, sexy Mexi, Mark Dutch said. And then Celinda Anderson said 92K. I am watching 92K, Celinda. I'm watching 92K because we do have a CME gap from April 22nd that has not been filled in that range yet. And so typically they don't always get filled, but a lot of times they do. So I am watching that 92K, $92,000 range on Bitcoin specifically for that CME gap unfilled sitting down there. So who else we have in here? Eric Wallen. Nice to see the green market. It's true. I agree, Ballin Wallen. And he also dropped a gypsy emoji in here. Django McClear, OG gang in the house. And Dave Digital, my man. Guys, tonight I saw a thing in here about tonight. Billy Goat Tells. There it is, right there. Billy Goat Tells tonight on the X. You guys got to go over there and join up on that. Listen to what they got to say tonight. What is the topic tonight, Alexander G? I saw you say it, but I'm not sure that I remember. Billy Goat Tells tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set a reminder. I'm not sure what it is about tonight. Dave Digital, I'm sure you're going to drop that in here and let me know. And I see Steve Hickey joining us also. All right. Let's talk about some altcoins, OC, because we've had a little rally. We saw the change happen in the dominance, losing that 70% mark. And typically, when you take the stable coins out, which we had that number there on the metrics, and you see that drop still happen, that means that alts are picking up on that front. So what are we seeing for altcoins? And then we'll come back and we'll talk about Circle. Circle is seeing, given a little opportunity today, I think, for those that have missed out on getting in on it. It's doing a little pullback, and it doesn't do it that much or that often. So, OC, let's take a look at what you got on alts, and then we'll come back and talk about Circle. Let's go, bro.
Absolutely. So alts looking a little stronger, but not as good as Bitcoin. Let's keep an eye once again on Bitcoin. Let's do a look back into what's going on with Bitcoin, just so we are up to date on what's going on. So basically, Bitcoin, we were on Friday, these prices. Sorry, Thursday on this same prices. Friday, we were going back down. And right now, Tuesday, we're back at where we are. Like no loss of value at all from Thursdays and Friday, all right? If we start going to altcoins, we have a very nice V-shaped recovery. In fact, we're getting 2 targets that we were expecting on Ethereum. Let's bring our indicators up in here for a little second. And then also what we can see here, it is that we are below dynamic reactor. This is a little bit worrying, right? Why? If I start just ignoring my indicators for a little while or for a little second, and I do just a manual analysis, we'll see that we could be having, for example, in Ethereum, a range. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. So not having breakthrough inside or back inside that range, that is worrying me. That usually means that we're going to hover over a little bit here, maybe make a fake out into, and then another rejection. Rejection, how far low? That is unknown so far. But so far, targets that we were looking into, well, then we were looking to 2,465. We're very close for that. Nonetheless, we are now encountering a resistance right there where we are, which is the bottom of the range. So far, the next upcoming resistance will be right at the trend line. So we still have some hope, and that hope will be breaking back inside the range and going to the actual resistance. So when we come back down, we already have broken through the range support. So let me just clear this up so we have a much cleaner perspective. Let's bring up our dynamic reactor. So the areas to watch is going to be, again, our very important trend line that we had from all the way up here to this high, and then we have an anomaly. So, and it's been again backed up, but this other high. So this is our next area to look for. Ethereum, that will be 2,523-ish. And let me set an alert right there, or let me recycle this alert in here. There we go. I also have Litecoin lineup, and it's more of the same. We did have a megaphone, not quite bit a range per se, but I want to bring up another trend line that I'm noticing right here, which is either this trend line that I'm trying to catch this shoulder, or I could even go for this other trend line. Any of those are basically the same, because when I start pairing them, we see a lot of cross or a lot of interest areas that we are hitting, right? Something like that. It's a little bit complicated to draw. There it is. I think this will be it. And as far as it goes, coming back down to the support, perfect. That's what we did. A little bit farther, and then coming back up to that trend line. That's also breaking back inside the pattern. In this case, this is not as worrying as Ethereum, because once again, Litecoin is back on its original price. This was Thursday, this was Friday, and we're basically back at those areas. So having a retracement, and let's watch that retracement area, wouldn't be that big of a deal. There we go. We are on a high order block, maybe going to the soft order block, holding this zone would be a great opportunity to create a higher low, a new trend line, and based on that trend line, well then, and off we go movement. So I'm gonna draw my trend line like that. Remember, this is a speculation trend line in here because there's no pivot. The only thing that I'm doing right there, it is just based on my support and resistance and price action, speculating on the price action, and then speculating on the support trend line that we have. Finally, AIXBT. We did had an open entry for a quarter. It got stopped. It stopped us out for a little bit in here. Nonetheless, we were expecting from yesterday a push through, and I told you I'm not gonna be trading alts today. But right now, we're back of previous prices. We are on red. We are below dynamic reactor. AIXBT not looking that great. And then we still need to wait for dynamic reactor breakthrough. So far, looking good, looking not that bad at all. Then let's redraw our trend lines just so we can see the actual target that we're expecting. There we go. We need to have either a double bottom, which in this case would be very possible as we come back down. And I see something that I did. There we go. Much better. And then
It was at this
in
moment
this case,
he knew. He fucked up.
I knew. I fucked it up. Oh, absolutely. Things start disappearing from my charts. In fact, I don't longer have, I mean, if I turn this off, I don't know what I did, but I still see my market oracle here, but I just can't edit it. So I don't know what's going on. It's driving me crazy not being able to use it. But yeah, I somehow fucked it up. But we'll see how that plays out. Nonetheless, we are below that trend line. There is a good chance that we create a higher low in here, basically right there on the same area that we bounced. And if we do that and hold our ground above the zero line, I think AIXBT could be a very nice entry. I'm gonna risk it in here as we're going up, basically maybe a late entry, but I still want to get alerted as we go back down. So that's what I got so far on altcoins part. Let me throw it back to you, and I'll refresh on the rest of the altcoins that I'm seeing.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Reload my widget. Don't know. Where's my chart? I need my ticker down there. All right. Shout out to Alexander G. She said 77 amazing viewers, 29 likes. We got a whole lot of people watching us over on X right now also. So if you guys are over there, join us over here on YouTube. You guys can join the chat and let us know what you guys would like to see on this morning's show. I appreciate everyone that's here. But yeah, I agree. Those are rookie numbers. Smash that like, guys. Smash that like button. I appreciate it. It helps us out here immensely. I hate asking you guys, but you have no idea how helpful it is. Let's go talk about Circle. I saw Daniel Barnes. He said, I just checked the price on CRCL and I'm buying the dip for sure. Let's go check that chart out. Guys, I'm watching Circle here. We spiked all the way up to they front ran $300, $298 there, and then flipped back around. You can see at that point we were sitting, over here. We were sitting here pretty hot on the heat map for RSI. Look at all the wicking that gave us indication, hey, this thing might be coming back down now, right? We're almost back down to the 30% range again. We're getting really cooled off. Money flow starting to level back out. We're getting very shortened extensions here on the histogram candles, and we're starting to not be so steep here on the signal line. I do think that the volume slowing down like this is giving us that opportunity. And you can see right now it's a doji candle. Of course, this could continue down. But if you take a look at what we have here, that is the level that we bounced out last time. And what is that level? That would be your lower support of your predictive ranges. Just go quickly grab a fixed range volume profile here. And we're going to measure this whole move here and take a look. Point of control sitting right there. That's where we're getting all that volume support at coming in. If we do drop lower than that, I would be watching for something here along this volume nipple right there on the fixed range volume profile. And that one's coming in at about 228. So I am going to be picking up some more of this Circle. Absolutely. Because if we take a look at what normally happens, you guys see all the price action here that occurred, and it happens inside of that golden pocket of the predictive ranges. Here you can see we broke in, retested the support right there of that delta median. And then once we broke above that, we just continued to ride up, right? We tend to trade between those two golden bands of the predictive ranges. This is where we tend to target, right? That's a majority of the volume on each of one of these predictive range cycles. That target would put it at about $330 Circle. So CRCL continuing to pump. It's a buy. It's a buy at that level of 237 for me, and it's definitely going to be an even further buy down at 225. So picking up some more Circle is my plan this week. Of course, following the DCA plan that we also have over in our Discord. If you guys don't know, we do the Piper plan over there for crypto side. And you get BTC strategy. Hey, here's our chart for the week. We drop this every Monday. And then, of course, we also go into the DCA amount. Hey, here's our wristbands. Here's our confidence level in DCA. This week was ×2. I'm going to be watching for Friday and Saturday. Those are two of the biggest days for pickup, and then Wednesday. So if we get a big pullback tomorrow, I might do half on Wednesday and then save the other half for this weekend based on the best days to DCA since January 1st this year. Of course, we do have all the altcoins over there too, and you guys can get all of that by clicking the join button down below for $5 a month. All of that and trades, guys. Check out the trades. I got to show the trades, OC, because JR is over there just absolutely crushing it. Where's it at? There we go. Look at this. 52%, 46%, 41%, 35%. Yeah, he's crushing it, and he's dropping these trades in here constantly for you guys too, along with Lunar Beaches, the Wave Machine, dropping charts in there for you. OC Trades. Haven't gotten any from you lately, OC. What's up, man? And then Buck Plays also dropping his stuff in there. So cheapest Discord around, $5, and you get DCA Piper plan and a whole lot more. OC, we've got about 15 minutes. I talked about Circle. We talked about the news today. You talked about some altcoins, but there's a couple that are popping out to me here that I'm just totally floored by. One is GRIFFAIN. Excuse me, Griffin. And then the other one is going to be Dog, man. Dog USDT, which I believe is a layer 2 on Bitcoin. Dude, can you pull up dog for us and let's go take a look at the DOG, see what that chart's looking like and why we should possibly be looking for a reversal on that.
Oh man, oh man. Hey, 20 years later. Oh, absolutely. So looking into ton, let's take a look at what happens here. Let's go for a trend line somewhere around here. I want to grab this highs going through this one, maybe an anomaly, because if I push it too high, well, I don't know. I think I'm missing on those ones. So I think this is a great area, getting very close to this zone. Maybe we did not push through, so that's a good combination or a good average between these two zones. So we are right now not only on dynamic reactor, we're also, let me see if I can get rid of this. And all right, I'm telling you, something is off with my charts. But at this point, we can look into our rejection zone that could be playing out in here. We're almost at the top of our oscillator. We have a an OB golden box and almost an overbought state right there. So yeah, we do have a buy signal. Let me just double click here. This is the 14, so this is not supposed to be there. Now it is how it is supposed to be. Nonetheless, I'm telling you, I cannot find my other indicators. Something I did fucked up. In fact, I think I can bring them back. Just 1 second. There it is. Yeah, finally. All right, I got them back. Oh yeah, I know. I've been just messing with this, that I don't know what the F I'm doing. Nonetheless, here it is. All right, perfect. We are still bearish. We are below dynamic reactor, but something's cooling off. What I want to see is a rejection here, of course, and there's a slight possibility that we break through. Let's bring out our support and resistances in here. There we go. We have a big resistance with a rejection zone. So there's going to be two plays in here. We either break or reject. All right. I mean, oh, come on. I know that is either one of those, right? If we break, our next area of entry is going to be right here for a reversal. It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest, and then off we go. All right. If we reject out of here, our next entry is going to be all the way down. So if we start rejecting and losing this supporting here, let me bring up my support and resistances. There we go. If we start losing our supporting here, well, then I think a short right there will make the trick all the way down to previous lows. So either we let it go, we short it, and then we longed it, all right? Or we reject, enter a little bit slight off as we lose the, 0033 line, and then we short it all the way to 0028 or even 0025. That is DOC USD. What was the other one that you want me to look into?
The other one was Griffin. Griffin.
How do I spell that?
GRIFFAIN.
Perfect. I think I got it here. Thank you, my friend. Griffin. Let's do the same thing. We're going for a trend line. I'm trying to see right now what would the best trend line be. And when in doubt, you just start at the top. Like, for example, in here, right? So I see I lost the trend line in here. It's not about the breakout. It's about the we go very low, right? So no retest. It's on there. So that means that I need to redraw another trend line. And then I draw it from the last pivot in here to this one right there. And that gives me a much accurate trend line so far. So let's just make it a little bit more prettier. And to the place, we have a breakout. We have a bullish flag in here. We're almost ready for a rejection. So be careful. We might be able to do this. It's going to be playing out exactly the same. If we reject, I'm not going to be shorting in this case. I'm going to be waiting for the support zone at the discount area for my next re-entry. I also have the previous weekly low and an important area of support in here. So far, if I reject, I'm not going to be shorting it. If you want to short it, go for it, but I wouldn't. And I'm going to be waiting for this low to then long it. If I slightly break through like that, like going above the 0.52 and going to our quantum reactor, that's what I might be able to short it all the way back to dynamic reactor and then long it as we have another flip of the ribbon. So those are going to be the plays. I'm going to be adding here an alert in case I break through, and another one right down here in case I reject from this area, something like that. So other than that, that's the areas I'm going to be looking for Griffin or Griffin. And well, I also have Toncoin and XRP. But let me throw it back to you in case you're looking at something.
I'm just looking through the news, trying to see what we got here. Interesting comment here that Meet Kevin's talking about on an X thread. He said, Fed Hammock, who I told you there's a lot of speakers today from the Federal Reserve speaking at different places, and he said a shift in immigration could affect how we interpret jobs data. Wait, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot? Follow up, Hammock says immigration restrictions could be a barrier to growth in the medium term. It could be interesting how that effect plays as a second, third order effect into the job numbers coming up. So something to keep an eye on. What are our next job numbers coming in? Let's take a look here. We have durable goods orders there Thursday. Tomorrow, what do we have? Tomorrow we got Fed Chair Powell speaking again. I think our next one is going to be Thursday. Yep. Thursday, initial jobless claims expected to be slightly higher on the forecast. Consensus is 245, which would be flat. 245,000 people filing unemployment for the week is what they're saying there. Could be going up. So there's our first number. And then we get our next one. Man, how far down is that? JOLTS job openings. That's going to be Tuesday, July 1st. And you can see this one's looking like it's dropping. So these job numbers could come out and there be a lot of revisions going on because of the immigration stuff. So something to keep an eye on there that Meet Kevin is pointing out about that data. So that's about all I got on news updates. We still got about 7 more minutes. So let's go take a look at what you had on those other couple charts there, OC. And again, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Jesse Galucky entering the building. He's walked in. He walked in and said, Get Lucky is here. Let's go see what do you got on those charts, man.
Absolutely. So the one I was looking into is XRP because we don't only got back into a previous price action, and remember that we took this risk right here because we were on entry areas. We took a 1 quarter entry because we knew it was very bearish where our strategy was telling us to enter. So we entered with that risk. It went low, went back into profits, and finally stopped us out. But that's fine. Something that is important, what I want to bring back up, it is the range, the very beautiful range that we were doing previously, and that we are back on the range which makes this a fake out. When we are back on a range after a fake out, the chances for the price action to hit the top of the range or the other side of the range, because if we had this fake out here, well, then the possibilities to hit the other side of the range, right, they get very, very high. So targets so far, first we need to overcome quantum reactor, basically dynamic reactor. That's where we're fighting right now onto. So let me just get rid of these lines. And I'm going to be looking for some jagged motion to the upside and then looking for a short in here. I might also be looking for a full retracement to those zones or even here. If that happens, I will be taking that long right somewhere around that line right there. So I will be looking for that retracement to re-enter. And that is because, once again, I know you guys are sick and tired of me just bringing up over and over and over the same pattern. But I'm looking from the spring or the fake out of the range. I'm looking for this next itty bitty point in here, or even this next point for a re-entry, and then the jagged movement to the upside and ring the top of that zone. So XRP looking great, looking that we're following basically point to point. Looks like this could be a spring, and what I'm looking for, as you have seen, is the retracement on this re-enter of the range. So that's what I got. We are basically 10 minutes away. So I think we're on time.
Awesome. Shout out to Eric Wall. He said, you escaped the desert and went right into a heat dome. It's hot. It's hot, but the humidity's not horrible. And I don't have a sandstorm. There's a sandstorm again yesterday in El Paso, people. So not missing that at all. I will pay 2 mortgages to not be in El Paso anymore until that house sells. And then I want to touch on Mike Play. He said, Kraken is doing a possible listing this week on Dog. That's why it's pumping so hard right now. And they are not on any tier 1 exchanges yet. So that would be the first one. So shout out to Mike Play. Appreciate that info, bro. And I was wondering, yeah, it was up. It was cranking. That's for sure. Bitcoin also showing a little bit of strength right now, OC. Let's go over and take a look at that. It tried to break up through that 887, and you can see here getting a little bit of a pullback on the 4-hour wicking here, but right now candle body sitting right at 105,410, just above it. It's just poking the tip through right there. So it is trying to get a move up from this point of control in the dynamic reactor. We will have to see how that goes. But according to JPMorgan, traders say it's time to get bulled up again. So let's talk about this all-time high that they're talking about here. All roads lead to all-time highs for stocks now that the ceasefire between Iran and Israel is in place. According to JPMorgan's trading desk, it's time to get bulled up again. With Israel and Iran seemingly diffused, the market is resuming its march to through all-time highs. With the geopolitical risk behind us, the market is refocusing on the macro picture, preparing for the earnings and watching that looming deadline of the expiration for the tariff moratorium. That is coming up very soon, by the way. We shift our view back to tactically bullish with a bullish hypothesis based on resilient macro data. Matter of fact, earlier, Jerome Powell did make a comment. Where is it? Where's that comment at, Jerome Powell? He said the U.S. is not in a recession. There's no cuts coming. Inflation risk is rising, but the economy is holding up. And so with that data, JPMorgan here says, let's focus on these things, the looming deadlines of the tariff moratorium, and then the macro picture as a whole and the earnings reports, which, we're going to be coming up on that in the next 30 days. So the S&P is about 2% below its record high of $6,144. That was set February 19th as investors have shrugged off everything from geopolitical headwinds to threats of higher tariffs. Several Wall Street strategists have hiked their year-end S&P 500 targets in the recent weeks after slashing them earlier this year. And then others, not so much bullish on that. On the bullish side, Stifel strategist Barry Bannister expects the S&P 500 to suffer a correction in the second half of 2025. So are we, a couple of months away from another push up? They could both be correct. We could see a push up, make a new high, and then still get a second half correction from that new high. So we think there's going to be a consumer slowdown. As the consumers pull back, precautionary savings go up and consumption slows. So I don't know. As of right now, we're seeing Jerome Powell say not the case. He doesn't think that that's going to be exactly how it plays out, despite that opinion there of Barry Bannister. So what a name, Barry Bannister. Elsewhere, Tuesday morning on Wall Street, Wells Fargo said buy the dip in Visa and MasterCard, where buyers Visa and MasterCard shares in the stablecoin weakness as it is it's way overblown. That would be something along the lines of Circle, so just keep that in mind. Analyst Donald Fandetti wrote in a note to clients, adding that there are many hurdles in the theoretical alternative to card payments. Guys, look, at the end of the day, I think that you're going to see things like MasterCard and Visa realize that they can do their transactions much quicker by them adopting USDC or other stable coins to do their payments, or even possibly develop their own. So I think at the end of the day, yeah, it might be a little overblown from the initial excitement, but I think that as the adoption comes into the fintech adoption into the industry of financial money movement, I think they're going to see that blockchain is the way to go to move that money. So OC, we're at the top of the hour. We're 5 minutes off of it. And right now, Crypto Princess is about to start. But go ahead and tell these guys what happens. What's their level up today when they smash that like button, OC?
Absolutely. So guys, thank you so much for joining the Piper Academy today. It really fills my heart when you guys show up. It's amazing to read you guys in the chat. Quick reminder that this is the only show that gives you power-ups every single time that you click the like button. So this time will be Absolutely. So this time we'll be drinking that little shake that you get in the mornings without making faces. So click it,
I
and then
can't
if you
drink the
need
green
to
shit,
give it a
OC.
shake.
I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Oh man, it gets easier as you click the like button. Maybe you're missing that, man. Maybe you're
I
missing
don't
that,
know.
my friend.
I don't know. That I'm gonna have to. I clicked the like. Did I click the like button? There, like button clicked on my end too. So there you go. I didn't do it today. I done effed up.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
Yep, facts. NW said Iran and Israel bombed an hour after the ceasefire. They did another ceasefire. We're on a second ceasefire on NW. But yeah, Trump was very
They
pissed.
don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's his statement about that. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you all being here today. We will be back here tomorrow morning. Don't forget to tune in to Trade Live with OC today. And then this evening, make sure you tune into Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto tomorrow morning. BC Port Corp kicks it all off again with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. breaking down the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. We'll catch you guys later. Heading over to Crypto Princess. When you get over there, drop a graduation cap. Let them know the alumni has entered the building. Later, guys.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll
Emotional damage.
We gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. But a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that nada source spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low.
To get with them. The ZTS rhythm. Rip it. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude!